Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of the Honest Plan podcast. Y'all know I am always a woman of my word. I always love to share real time messages and real time. I don't even know what I can say. Real time, just kind of when God drops something on my heart, like something that I know my sisters and my brothers can use to help strengthen your relationship, whether that is like through faith, through business, through finance. But one thing that God does do for me is like when He gives me a word, it's always something that can be interpreted many different ways. Like it can be placed wherever. And I guess that's the power of like the living word. So it's like, okay, no, you like this word is not dead. Like it's alive and you can apply this to any and everything that you need. So today I was just making a post on Facebook, just talking about like my experience since I joined my church. Yesterday I got awarded a Unsung Hero Award, and it just kind of acknowledged me for the service that I have been doing in my church. So I took a moment to actually thank my leaders. I was like, it was very shocking to me that I was one of the ones to get an award because I felt undeserving of award, because I'm like, listen, I'm just trying to repay you for all of the ways that you've blessed my life. Like, I'm sure what I'm doing in the church doesn't even amount to what you have done for me and what your obedience to, walk into God's calling has done for me and my family. So I was just kind of like sharing that and sharing, how I've grown in the last 4 years. So at the end of it, I, did their hashtag or, their saying, which is come, grow, lead. Afterwards, I took a shower, and for some reason, I just couldn't get that out of my head. Come, grow, lead. It wasn't the first time that I've heard that. I've heard that all 4 years. Like it's something that they say all the time. It's on a lot of the different, social media posts. It's on the screen every time I go to church. And so I'm like, why is this stuck in my head? And in the midst of it, I started to dissect, okay, well, what does that mean? Like, what does it really mean to come, grow, and lead? And why is it in that order? So let me just kind of think through it. And I want you guys to really, 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 really get this. So come. Like meaning wherever you are, like in your journey, wherever you are in, your walk of life, the first step is always like coming. Like acknowledging where you stand right now, acknowledging that, listen, my way is not enough. Like I can't do it on my own any longer. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried, and it's not working. And then as you come, as you start to actually show up for yourself, as you start to acknowledge on the ways that you have maybe fallen short, or if you're acknowledging the ways that are still broken, are still hurt, but you just being consistent with coming, just be consistent with the first step. Be consistent with that. And before you know it, you're growing. I'm like, okay, my shoulders are starting to, loosen a little bit. I'm starting to put my shoulders back. I'm starting to be more confident in the way that I speak. I am starting to show up the way that I know I need to for my family, for myself. And then by me growing as a person, I can now become a person that can turn around and open the door for those that need to come behind me. And I was like, okay, I understand that. But I was like, okay, why does it have to be in that order though? Like, I was thinking of, well, God, what if people come in and, they're carrying a lot of baggage with them. So maybe it might be more beneficial for them to grow first and then come, so you don't disrupt the function of what everything, how everything is already going, how the flow of, other people's community, like just so you don't bring your bad habits and ruin someone else's harvest. And literally in that moment, God showed me like, no, you need the community to help you grow. You need the community to help you grow, because without it, like, how many times have you done it on your own? How many times have you done it on your own and you fallen short? How many times have you tried it on your own and you were not able to commit? But the second that you come first, that you acknowledge, that you get into a community that understands, a community that can pour into you, a community that is sufficient for the growth that you need to become. Because a lot of times, you guys, we are so laser focused on our situation. We're so laser focused on everything that's going wrong, so laser focused on we keep getting knocked down, that we undermine like the person that we are in this season. So yes, you got knocked down, but I am cheering you on because you're so resilient. So to you might be looking at it like, I just can't catch a break. Like, every time I try to do good things, bad comes my way. But from someone else's angle, they may be like, wow, I can only wish I can have that same resilience as so-and-so. Like, every time problems come their way, they, handle it with such grace, such ease. And I'm sure it's not easy, but the way they handle it all the time, it just inspires me to keep going. That's why we need to come first. That's why we need community first. And also with like just being laser focused on the now and on our certain situation, we'll get conditioned to always having something to come against us. We are conditioned to, oh, this is not going to work. I'm not good enough for this. Once I try, it's going to fail, blah, 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 blah. And so then we stop trying. But when you have the right community around you, you have soldiers beside you that can literally say, girl, no, put your feet down. You're so used to being submerged in water up to your neck, like feeling like you're drowning, that you don't even know that you have already made it to the shallow end. All I need you to do is put your feet down. Like, sometimes you need a community around you that will literally say to you, sister, stop fighting and just put your feet down. Just put your feet down. Like, you have made it. You have fought the fight. You have done enough. All I need you to do is put your feet down and walk into your blessing. Stop discrediting yourself. Stop accepting the bare minimum and understand that God really wants to bless your socks off. Like, he really, really wants to do that for you. And of course, that comes with opposition sometimes, because the devil is not just going to sit back and just allow you to get blessed. It doesn't just work like that. Like, I know we want it to in a perfect world. It's like, God, give me the mansion, give me the job, give me the husband, give me the house, give me all of the things, and keep the trouble. Like, that's the easy way out. Like, all of us want that. That's the American dream right there. Give me all of the blessings, all of the stuff, all the material things, all the accolades, and you keep the problems over there. But in order to get the stuff, the problems come with it. So when we are praising people for what they have, sometimes we're blind to everything that they had to go through to get there. All the rocks that they had to go through, all of the thorns that they had to step on, bare feet, and patch themselves back together just to be able to get up the next day and try again, and try again, and try again, and try again, in order to get the things that they have right now. So you are going to need a community of people that can just pour into you, that can be your soldiers, that not only can pour into you, but you can pour into them sometimes, because sometimes the encourager needs encouragement. And somebody might need you. Somebody might need you on whatever journey you're on, whether it's spiritual, financial, or business. Someone needs you. You need to be in someone's community. Let's, throw away the idea of it needs to be a one-man band. I don't need anybody. I can do it all by myself. That was great when we were in middle school. We're grown now. We have grown problems. And sometimes our problems can, really mess up our mind. It can really tell us things that are not true. And if you don't have the people near you that can say, listen, that's the devil speaking. Girl, you don't accept that. Don't accept that. That's not you. You can make it through. This battle, I know it's large, but God wouldn't give it to you if he really didn't think that you can get to the other side. Don't give up. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. And watch what happens from there. So come, or community, however you want to look at it, just being in that, area, it promotes growth. And once you start to grow, and I'm a visual person, you guys. So if you're watching on, you guys may want to plug into this podcast, on YouTube as well. So I'm a visual person. So when I think of come, grow, lead, I think of, okay, when I'm coming into the community, I'm probably broken. I probably feel broken. I probably, have a lot of things going on in my mind. I'm probably feeling like I don't deserve to be here. I'm probably feeling like, why are these people so nice to me? I'm probably feeling like the ball is going to fall at any moment now. And so the idea that I get when I look at that is someone kind of crunched down and bent over and just so small. If you guys, I'm gonna stand up, but just kind of literally bent over like that, and just kind of facing one way. And then when you come, that's kind of turning. So I was listening to a service from Pastor Mike Todd a few years ago, and he was saying that what repent really means is just to turn, to turn away from the ways that you are currently doing things and submit to the ways that God wants you to do things. So when I want you to come, I want you to turn. Turn your body and be fully present for a new beginning. Be fully present for things are going to change. Things have to change. And leave all the old stuff. Leave all the old stuff behind. Leave all the old depressing mindset, behind. It has to go. It has to loose. It has to get up off me today. So when I'm turning, that's me turning away from my old baggage and welcoming in new things, new beginnings. And so grow. So, I'm still my posture didn't change. I just turned my body, but I'm still in that same crotch down, this is mine. This is mine. No one, I don't want to be seen. I just don't want anyone to even notice that I'm here. I'm still in that same position. But then once I'm starting to grow, it's kind of like a flower. You guys, when any of my planters, when you're planting something and you forget to water it, it shrivels up. So when you're coming into your community, you maybe felt like a beautiful rose in one point of your life, but for some reason you got around people that neglected you, that did you wrong, and life started to happen, and so you stopped getting the watering that you needed. And so your petals started to droop. Your stem started to get stiff, which represents your heart hardening, which represents you closing off everybody else. But once that plant gets sufficient amount of water, you start to see it grow. You start to see, the leaves blossom. You start to feel confidence. You start, even just the act of putting your shoulders back. Like, one of my coaches taught me that 2 years ago. Put your shoulders back. Before we would jump into our coaching call, she would make us do a breathing exercise. And the first thing that she would say is, I need you to put your shoulders down and away from your ears and back. I need you to put your shoulders down further from your ears, and I need you to put your shoulders back. And by just doing that, you'll realize, oh my gosh, like, I didn't even know that I'm so tense. Like, I didn't know my shoulders were so high up. And so sometimes when I feel myself getting stressed, when I feel myself getting overwhelmed, when I feel myself believing things that I know are a lie, that go against what God, has already spoken over my life, I'm like, put your shoulders down. Put your shoulders down. No, 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 no. Shake it off. That's a lie. That's a lie. I don't receive it, because you don't have to receive everything. Sometimes our mind is going 1,000,000 miles per minute, and you don't have to receive that. You do not have to receive that. And so I'm putting my shoulders back and away from my ears. And I'm allowing myself to breathe. I'm allowing myself to just take in, like, girl, I'm so proud of you. Yesterday I came home and I really just had like a moment. I just had a moment because I'm like, wow, I am just so incredibly proud of you, because your resilience is out of this world. And sometimes I don't know how you do it. And y'all, listen, you might be listening to this episode and you're like, who is she talking to? Sometimes I'll have conversations with myself in third person. Like, I like to kind of have like an outer body experience where I'm looking at me. Like, so I don't know if it makes sense, you guys, but it just, I have those moments where I feel like the old me is looking at me now. And the old me is talking to the Tiana of today. The 16-year-old me is talking to the 26-year-old me. The 12-year-old me is talking to the 26-year-old me. The 5-year-old me that had just, dealt with so much at 5 years old, is talking to the 26-year-old me. And so I have those experiences sometime. And yesterday was one of those experiences. And I just was saying, I am just so proud of you. I'm so proud of you because, wow. Like, I just didn't have the words. I'm just like, wow. How? There were so many moments where I wanted to give up, and give up on everything. Like, let's just be honest, throw in the towel on everything, because I felt like life was so unfair, because I felt like there's no way anything good can happen to me, because I've experienced so much. And I'm like, if God wanted to bless me, he would have already done that. And that's just being laser focused on the problem and not stepping outside and just saying, girl, but you got up in the midst of. Because even now, literally today, I still feel like, of course the problems change. It's not the same problems that I was, dealing with at 16, but I still have things that aren't ideal. I still have things that I wish I could change. But girl, don't be laser focused on the now that you undermine all the things that you had to go through to become the person that you are today. Wow. And I encourage you to have that experience. It might sound weird, I don't know, to kind of have a conversation with yourself in third person. But if you don't, who else is going to pour into you like that? No one else. You can have your community, but they weren't there for all of the things that you had to face. They don't know all of the thoughts that go through your mind every single day. So sometimes you have to pour into yourself and just take a step back and say, wow, girl, how did you do it? What's the recipe? Because I'm still trying to figure it out. What's the recipe? And honor yourself. Yeah, the problem is big, but God is so much bigger. And your faith is just out of this world. And you should be proud of that. You should be proud of that. Regardless if things are not going exactly how you planned, you still have faith every single day. You still have faith every single day. And that takes a lot out of you sometimes. It takes a lot out of you sometimes that people don't even know the half of it. They see the smile that you put on your face every day, but they don't know what goes on behind those doors. And so even if you don't feel the courage to say it to yourself today, or someone else might not say it, allow me to say it to you right now. Wow. I am so incredibly proud of you for going through everything that you've gone through, and for still putting a smile on your face, and for still serving others when you felt like your cup was empty, and for still being resilient, and for still showing grace, and for still showing kindness, and for still showing love when you feel like no one loves you. Wow, I am so incredibly proud of you. And you should be so incredibly proud of yourself. You do not have to get to the ultimate goal to take a step back and have that outer body experience and just acknowledge and take in everything that had to happen to get you here today. So today, have a second where you just say, wow. Wow, tap back into that, what it felt like 10 years ago today. And just say, wow, it's been hard. And sometimes you might want to say, ouch. You might want to say, ouch, because it's been hard. But the beautiful thing is you didn't stop. And so, and y'all, yesterday I was like, all this was happening in the shower, me having this, this experience and stuff. And I just started like worshiping and praying and stuff and everything. And I was like, you know what, God, I didn't give up. I didn't give up. And so if I went through all of that and I didn't give up, oh, devil, you don't have to see me. You can't, like, if you wanted to take my life, you should have taken my life then. Like, if you wanted to control my mind, you should have controlled my mind then. But I had the power to take it back. God allowed me, the armor to fight against you. So if you didn't win then, you're definitely not gonna win now. Because over those 10 years, I became stronger. I became wiser. I've built the community of people that are strong and wise too. And so on the days that you think you do have me down and I can't fight, well, guess what? I have some people that I can tag in, whether that's my husband, whether that's my friends. You're not going to corner me anymore. You're not going to allow me to feel like a victim in my life anymore. You're going to have to see me. Like, we're going to have to square up every time. Every time it's going to be a fight, because you're not going to win. You're not going to win. You're not going to control me. You're not going to make me feel like I'm less than. You're not going to make me feel like I deserve, to just accept half. You're not going to make me feel like what I'm doing now is the best that God has for me. Absolutely not. Why? No, that's not true. That's not true. And I refuse to believe that that's what God is saying for me. I refuse to believe it. You can't make me believe it. Can't do it. No, not going to happen. And so I want that same thing for you too. I'm sharing my experiences. Like, the Honest Plan is really like, y'all. And I got this name, The Honest Plan, from, me and my husband were just praying. And I had this idea of, I want to show the world, my financial journey. I want to show the world how I get out of debt. That's what I went into this as. And I prayed about it. I was like, well, I felt this urge, and I was like, why though? Like, I'm not a person that's the front line. I'm seen but not heard. Like, I don't give my opinions. I don't share my faith. I don't share the things that I've gone through. I don't share the things that I face every day. I don't share what helps me keep going every day. So I was like, why do I feel this urge all of a sudden? You guys, I went up to the altar so many times. I know the people at church were sick of me going to the altar for an altar call and prayer. And I kept asking them to pray for the same thing. I'm like, I have, this feeling in me, to start something, but I'm scared. I'm so scared. And they prayed for me and they prayed for me and they prayed for me. Like, like Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. I probably went like maybe 4 times. I probably went, no lie, you guys, like 4 times. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna just do it. And so me and my husband were at the house one day, and I was like, okay, well, what's the name? And I was looking up scriptures and stuff, and I came across Jeremiah 29:11. And it's a scripture where God talks about the plan that he has for your life, the plan to prosper you, and not to harm you. And so I was like, okay, I kind of want to tie this in somehow, some way. Like I want to talk about being a planner. Like I want to talk about the money plan, the productivity plan. I was just saying all these different things. And my husband was like, why not the honest plan? Like, are you going to be honest? Like, are you going to share, the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth? And I was like, you know what? I am. And I want to be vulnerable. And I want to share the things that people are not sharing. So that fits. And little did I know, like I'm going into it, like I want to share my money. Like I want to share the plan I have for my money. And God has taken that and transformed it into the plan for my entire life. No, I want you to share the plan for your money. Yes, I want you to share the plan and the behind the scenes of your business. And I also want you to share the plan of your heart. I want you to share the plan that, I show you. And God has been really speaking to me. Has really been speaking to me a lot, definitely since I stopped working in corporate. Like I felt like he needed me to drown out the noise so that I can truly open my heart and open my ears. And he's, just kind of shown me a lot and given me a lot of things to share with you guys. And sometimes I won't lie, like he'll give me a word and it's so profound. And afterwards I'm like, well, God, I'm like, but who's going to deliver that? Like, surely not me though, right? Like, who am I to share that with people? Like, I'm not a pastor. Maybe I can, pass this along to someone else and, they can take it and add their little spice to it. But he's like, nope, you're going to share it. That's you. You're looking for someone. You're searching for someone to do what I'm telling you to do. And since I've been sharing my faith, like on the podcast and on Instagram and stuff, so many of you have like connected to my story, have connected to me, and have been pouring into me and sending me DMs and text messages and emails and just sharing about like, oh my gosh, this episode, or oh my gosh, when you said this, like, you don't even know, I really, really needed that today. Like, I really needed that today. So thank you for being obedient. And I just want to say thank you to you guys, because it took a lot for me to get to a place where I even felt comfortable with telling someone that I was a Christian, like online, because, the cancel culture, and I didn't want people to feel like I'm shoving something down their throat or saying, if you don't believe in Christ, then, this, you don't belong here and all this stuff. I just never wanted people to feel like that. And so I strayed away from it for a long time. And now I'm like allowing God to lead me in this space, whatever that might look like. So thank you guys for giving me the space to fully share the honest plan. And that's the double meaning. So to fully share my company, the honest plan, but to fully share my honest plan. And it's ever changing. And you guys always leave space for me. And so I thank you for that. It means more than you know. You guys allow me to try this and to try that and to dip my toe into this and see if it works and see if I like it. And you support me anyway. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't remember if I even, finished talking about the saying, come grow lead. But I hope that with this episode, you know exactly what that means. You know exactly what you need to do to become the person that God is calling you to become. Because all of us are leaders. All of us are leaders somehow, some way. Somehow, some way. If I can go from the person that hated speaking in front of people, literally hated, like it would make my armpits sweat like a football player, like sweat dripping down my like my forehead. I'm like, please don't call me. Like I used to be the person in the back of the class, like with my head down saying, please don't call me, please don't call me, please don't call me. Even when we had, like, you guys know the popcorn, when you had the popcorn read, and a friend would have to, after they would read a passage, they could call on another friend to pick back up. I was like, no, don't call on me. And I was a smart girl. I was AB honor roll throughout, elementary and middle school. But it was something about having to be heard that intimidated me. Like I just didn't think my voice was ever valuable. And so what that looked like was I was stuttering over all the words. And, maybe the teacher would write me a report, telling my parents about I needed to improve in my reading. And my granddaddy would sit me down like, you can read this. Like, this is the story. Read it to me. I would read it to him with no problem. He's like, well, why when you get in school, why are you having trouble? Why are you stuttering? And it's because I just didn't want to speak in front of people. I just never wanted to be singled out. I never wanted the spotlight to be on me. And so if I can grow from that place and to become a person that, does speaking engagements and where I'm on a stage and everyone is looking at me and I'm having to entertain people. Like, if I can do that, you can too. All of us have a little piece of leadership in us. But it first starts out with finding your community, with coming to your community. That's where it starts out. Finding your people. Right now, you've been trying to do it on your own for a long time. You've been trying to do it on your own for a long time. But just by making that first little step, God's like, okay, I can do something with that. I can do something with that. And then you start to grow. You start to blossom. You start to sit up straight with your shoulders away from your ears. You start to take deeper breaths. And people start to notice that. Even when you don't notice the growth, people notice the favor and the blessings falling off you. People start to notice that. And then once you notice, that's when you can start leading. That's when you can strengthen other people around you. Because I'm sure God's plan for all of us is to somehow, some way help the next person. Like, it's not good enough for you to get to a certain place. How can you help someone else get there too? And we can't help someone get there when we feel broken. And we can't help someone get there, when we're lacking, financial education and financial security. We can't really do all the things that we want for someone. We can't. I'm sure, like, I talk to a lot of people and they say, my dream is to buy a house for my mom. My mom has worked so many jobs and my mom has, stewarded over our family in such a way that I could never even repay her. And so my goal is to be able to retire her and to put her up in a house where she can, finally lay back with her feet up. But in order to do that, I have to work on me first. I had this conversation with a lot of people. That's a lot of people's goals. But before we do that, we have to grow. Then we can lead and support other people in their lives too. So I really thought that this episode was going to be like 10 minutes long, but y'all, I just let the Spirit flow. However he wants to move me, just move. Whatever you need me to say, I'm here. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye.